What's up, guys? Welcome back. Like I said last episode, we are getting back on this build here. Wheels are in, tires are in, whole box of parts over there. We just need to get that fork set up, get everything ready to go. Let's go unbox these wheels real quick. All right, guys, here it is. We're running some 29 by 3, I believe front and back. I have to double check that. Almost positive. He went with the wide boys here. So Chucky wheels, like I was telling you guys, he's actually doing this for a living now. So I'm going to link him in the description below. If you guys are looking for a set of wheels, he is your guy. Hit him up. He'll take care of you. Let him know I sent you. Something like that. Anyway, we need to get the tires on here. We've got some white wall. These right here are 29 by 3 white walls. Let's see how dirty we can get them. And we're going to throw these on there. Once these are on there, I can get started with the fork. I've got the fork legs over here cleaned up. The fork stuff is in here. Good old Lawless boy coming through. We've got our kickstand. We've got the square tube triple tree. We just got to put all of this together. Again, guys, an amazing product. I will even, I'm going to put him in the description as well, but Lawless Bicycles, dude makes killer stuff, but there you go. So I'm going to put that together. We were waiting on the wheel to put the fork together because I needed to know how wide it was going to be so that I could weld the dropouts and all that fun stuff. Not much different, but we're going to go ahead and let's get to work. All right, here is the Lawless triple tree for square tubing. Takes 1.5 inch square tube, which should slide in here. Now, something we may run into, this wheel is a 29 by 4. The rear and the front are both going to be big, fat, meaty boys. My only concern is the triple tree wide enough? Ah, plenty. Perfect. No worries. And since I'm making the legs anyway, then that's definitely not going to be a worry. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'll set up the triple tree, get everything put together. All this stuff comes with it. It's all assembly. You can even mount a headlight under here. That's what these little threaded parts here. He also makes headlight brackets that you can mount that to the bottom. We're not doing it on this one, but let's get this thing put together, get the legs slid on, figure out where they need to be, and then we can figure out what the difference is going to be to where I need to weld those on. All right, let's backtrack that. I was told it takes 1.5 inches, but I must have misunderstood, and it actually takes 1.25 inches. 1.5 inches is nowhere near going to fit in there. Luckily, appears I've bought out the metal supply place, but I need to clean some. So let me go clean it, then we'll slide it in there and see where we're at. Hey guys, breaking out the old MIG welder, gonna cap the legs. I did cut each one at an angle, so that way it would match the angle of the dropout for the wheel bracket. I will say, I think all the TIG welding that I've been doing has actually helped my MIG welding. Really focusing in on it, looks really good. Much better than it used to. Definitely good penetration, nice beating, good spacing. Yeah, I'm digging that. Alright guys, right here I am getting ready to put the headset on. I do use 1.5 inch 0.083 for my head tube, which is still a little bit too big for your headset. So what I do is go in there with my die grinder. You can also use a Dremel to get in there and get them so that they'll fit, because you don't really have to take a whole lot off. Here we're just getting both crowns on, getting on the steering neck, and getting the legs slid in and just lightly bolted down. Alright, in order to get correct ride height, I did need to go ahead and put both tires together, both wheels together. I don't know if he stuck these things and left them in the box for the last month, but they were extremely hard to get on, and they're usually not. Here I'm just making sure the front and the back of the frame are level, so that when I slide the front wheel on, everything's level, everything's appeared to be. And then I'll figure out where I need to slide the fork in. I'll cut off the difference after I have figured this part out. Alright, I'm going to go like full mock-up here, but this thing is looking killer. Perfect fitment between the fork and the tire. I am going to have to order a Lawless headset. Their headset's a little different than the ones I normally use. Back is sitting perfect right in there. It's just low enough where you're not going to kill yourself. But it's definitely, having the big 29 by 4 and front and back gives it that like Cadillac stance. Like, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but it just gives it that flow. Looks really cool, like it's just going to run you over. I'm going to throw this tank on real quick. We can kind of really get to see where it's sitting, and I'll throw the bars on too. Now that's what I call a productive night, but that's what I call the ugliest bars I've ever seen, and I am not allowing this to go out of my shop with these dumb looking things on here. It throws the frame completely off. Nah, that's not gonna work for me. This frame just needs sleek bars. It's just, I don't get people with the 8 hangers on everything. It's just not working. So those are coming. Cut them off. I can actually cut them right in here, and those will look good. He has some other ideas for bars he wanted too, but we'll see. This thing came in really good though. We're right there on clearance. I am super stoked. All we got left now, I need to do the kickstand. Like I said, we still got to order a headset. I think we're going to order Lawless pedals too. But everything else looking great. You did order some of these red washers, which are really cool. They tuck in the Allen key head. And then I had black ones over here. So those are mine. These are the ones he ordered. He ordered red, but I like them. And I still want to trim this back a little bit. I think I'm going to come in here with a sander or a grinder and just lightly, because I want that to really sit. I don't want to be able to touch it. I want it to flow right off. So, and then once that's done, those are going to head off to the painter, and then the frame's going to go to powder once we get the other finishing stuff. Like I said, kickstand, blah, blah, blah. I still need to clean up the welds down on the chain stays, because we're doing everything nice and clean. But yeah, I'm digging it. I'm going to call it a night though. This was one of those nights where things just kept going wrong and then right and wrong and right. So yeah, but I am so digging it. I love the big wheel in the front. See you in the morning. All right guys, I told you I'm not letting those bars leave here. So I've gone ahead, I've cut them up. I even did a cool little angle on the end here. I just got to cap that off, but I did it kind of gave it a little bit of an angle. It looked kind of neat, a little bit of a swoop. End caps for that. Got the center post here. Again, Chop Shop's Customs. He even makes these here. So if you guys want bars and you want to have the little nubs there so that it hangs on, you can order those from him too. So we're going to TIG all of this together now. I got to get everything cleaned up. I need to get this on here, get it fitted, smacked down, because it does need to have that same kind of contour. So I'm going to do that, get the contour bend, then we'll TIG it all together. Once that's done, clean that up, and then we'll put it together, get these bars done, and then we're going to go on to the kickstand. Alright, we're getting these all TIG welded on. These things turned out to be a pain just because it's a lot harder when you're trying to hold something down and TIG weld it. Luckily, you barely need to use filler rod on stuff this thin, especially if it's not structural. You can just weld it on, grind it down, looks perfect. TIG welding is a lot easier to grind down and get everything flat. So you can see here, that's what I was doing, but you sometimes don't even need to, because with TIG welding, you can powder coat right over it and it kind of just disappears. Not gonna lie to you guys, this right here was complicated. I dipped the tungsten multiple times and had to keep getting up and grinding the tungsten sharp again. But I wanted to try something that I knew was going to be a little bit more complicated, but I also know that it's something that everyone can see. So I wanted it to look really good. So I just kept trucking forward, and it actually came out okay. Alright, I think that came out pretty good. Not too bad at all. The bars look way better. So what we'll do now is go ahead and get them on the bike just so I can test fit them. And then it's got to actually get all broken down, because I need to, like I said, get the kickstand done, and I need to finish weld the fork. We really don't have much left to do after that, so let's get it done. Alright guys, you seen me do this kickstand before. Did this one on the build-off bike, same deal. Lawless kickstand, these are weld on. You can also buy the ones that are not weld on. Big thicky boy there that's got to be ground. I'll ground it to a point so I can weld it. We'll have to MIG weld this on because I'm all out of gas on the TIG welder. And this is pretty thick anyway. I'm gonna go in there something around here. I like it to be close to the leg, but that should work. Anything center is gonna be good. Let's go ground this down, get it welded on. I did go ahead and pick up some of these welding clamps off Amazon. That helped a little bit. It was kind of hard to try to hold this kickstand up against the frame because the actual kickstand itself is aluminum. So of course the magnet didn't want to stick to that. But I was able to finally get it into position so that I could tack it on. Alright, just swing it back and forth just to make sure everything's nice tight, nothing got bound up, and that you're going to have plenty of room in between the body of the frame and the lower chainstays. I did say this before, guys, on the build-off bike, but when you're welding these on, you want to remove the actual kickstand when you go to burn it on fully. There's a little teeny spring that's inside of there, and if that gets too much heat to it, it will actually lose its tension and shrink, and it'll no longer work. You'll have no more kickstand use. Now here I was really burning it in because that little bracket that holds the kickstand on is so thick. Like I said, I do grind it into like a V groove so that I can actually lay the weld completely down inside of it. Once I grind it all the way, you won't even know it was there. Alright, time to get the bars on, and these things looked so much better. They're actually, I do like the long kickback that it has, because when you're sitting in the seat, me at 40 years old, don't really want to lean over anymore. And as I sat on it, it actually felt great. Some cool little square tube, diamond tube headlight brackets. This is just a headlight I had laying around. I just wanted to see how it looked. I think we call this one about done. We do need to take the tanks off and go get them off the paint, but these brackets are super cool. If you guys are interested in any kind of brackets like these for the headlight and the square tube, if any of you guys are doing them, let me know, because I can get these made. I've got to know that there's enough interest for it to be worth it, because I do have to buy a bunch of these to be made in order for me to do that. So let me know in the comments if that's something you're into. I did throw, that's my wife's headlight, I threw it on there just to kind of see what it looked like, but everything looks so cool. Went through here, made sure that this was in line. Still only need to finish weld there. I need to finish weld underneath the kickstand, but I'll get to that. But anyway, I think she looks super awesome. Came out really good. Again, these are 29x4 front and back, so it actually gives it a really beefy look. And I am way happier with those bars. I did go ahead and TIG weld those, which again, I'm happy with. I feel like I'm definitely progressing. And I do need to come in here and just trim this off a little bit more. But other than that, next time you see this, we will be getting it off to paint, I hope. And I'm going to film that as well, so you guys will get to see it while he's painting. Because this is the guys that are doing this are mural artists. So it's going to be pretty cool to watch, see what they can do with this tank. They've got quite a bit of canvas to paint on. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, comment below if you feel like it, and I'll see you guys next weekend. Later.